Active shooter. A gunman or gunmen killing or attempting to kill people in a confined, populated area.
6-7 Sandy Hook School. Callers indicating she thinks there's someone shooting in the building.
Since 2006, the U.S. has averaged an active shooter event with 4 or more deaths every 2.9 months. Even though the number of active shooter events has been increasing, your odds of being involved in one is still very slim. But just like fire drills or hurricane preparedness, making a plan in advance can make all the difference. If you find yourself in the middle of a senseless attack, why doesn't matter. What matters is surviving.
That's absolutely correct. That's their goal. They want to go in and do the most damage as possible. They want to hurt people. The harder you are to become one of those victims, the more likely you will survive that.
On average, 20 mass shootings take place in the U.S. every year. Killers usually pick their victims at random. They look for easy targets. So the harder you are to see or hit, the safer you are. When an attack starts, if you can find your way out of the location, do so. Get out.
If you're posed with an active shooter situation, first and foremost, get out of the building. Get out of whatever area you're in that this is taking place.
If you stay calm and think clearly, even in the middle of a life and death event, you improve your chances of making it out.
What we'd like to see is doorways. If you can get to a doorway, something to exit the facility you're in. Emergency exits not only count as doors, but there are windows also that are emergency exits. Be cognizant of those being available and for you to be able to get to them safely.
Visualize your movements in advance. Use cover, something that would stop a bullet, or concealment, something that at least keeps you out of sight.
We like to use cover and concealment, and the words, a lot of people aren't familiar with them. Cover is protection from gunfire. Concealment is hiding from the individual or whoever the threat might be.
Use any available means to get out, including emergency exits and windows. Most restaurants and retail locations will have exits in the back, through kitchens and stock rooms. Even in the best cases, law enforcement is minutes, not seconds away.
Very profound to think about when posed with an active shooter situation. Everybody wants law enforcement there now. The reality is that's not really what's going to happen. It's going to take minutes. Although that's our goal, to minimize the casualties by faster response time, the fact is it's going to take us several minutes to get there.
For that reason, you must take action to protect yourself. If you can help others without putting yourself in unnecessary danger, do so. If you can't move safely to an exit, get to a room or a confined area you can lock down. Secure your location.
If it's a classroom, you have to stay in the classroom. Unless there's an immediate out, like an emergency window, great. If not, find a place, barricade the doors once inside there. Do what you can to keep individual or individuals out of the area you're going to.
Drywall won't stop a bullet, but there are steps to take to stay safe. Lock or barricade the doors. Turn off the lights. Move away from any windows and silence your cell phone.
Silence. Once you're in that area, barricade it, silence. Put them on silent. Try to contact somebody if you can, but silence. You have to be quiet.
A modern emergency bag can include a first aid kit, gloves, emergency plans for the building, and casualty cards to alert first responders to any wounded victims. Most active shooter situations are over in 10 to 15 minutes. Law enforcement's first responsibility when entering an active shooter situation is to stop the suspect, not to render aid to the victims.
We go right to it. If it's evident where it is, that's where we go to. We'll be bypassing people who are injured, people who are screaming for help. That's not easy for us to do, but we have our role. Our role is to stop further casualties. Once an area is secure, we will communicate that to medical personnel and they will come in and assist the injured.
Defend yourself. If you cannot escape the location and can't shelter in place, you have to defend yourself as a last resort. Almost anything can be turned into an improvised weapon. Look for something that can obstruct the shooter's ability to see, breathe, or control their weapon.
Don't become a victim. If you have to fight, you can't get out, you can't hide, don't become a victim. Fight.
When law enforcement arrives, they're going to be in a heightened state of readiness and awareness, looking for any aggressive movements, so keep your hands visible and follow any commands you are given. Every incident will be different, but these 3 rules hold true. Get out. If you can't, secure your location, and if necessary, defend yourself.
You can survive. You can survive, and you have to believe that. If you're in one of these situations, you have to believe it and you have to want it. You have to believe it. You can make it through this.